What's going on, Cancer? I salute the divinity in you, and welcome to the Chariot Friends. Justin here, and you ready for that new moon? We're in a new lunar cycle. Get ready to set some strong intentions here, because this is the lunar cycle that's going to be happening, or that is hosting that's going to be hosting the full moon eclipse that's going to be happening later this month in Pisces. So this is going to be a really great one that's coming through there. I feel we're going to be able to not just, I think, receive some very useful insights, very personal inspirations, but I feel that there's even going to be a hand in how to really effectively utilize that, especially setting this intention in Virgo. I really like when the moon is in earth signs. You can really get some tangible results from things. So but before we get into that, it looks awfully, I was like, it seems awfully dark in here, but we're gonna keep the low lighting here. That's fine. If you haven't met me before, my name is Justin, and welcome to my channel. And know that when you come across this video, you're in sync with the moon, and she loves that. And this is a channel for those of you who have Cancer in your placement, Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus, maybe even Mercury, wherever Cancer. This one's for you. Or if you just wanted to sync up with the moon, want to collaborate. Luna loves that. And, Cancers, I feel we enjoy the company. We understand the zodiac signs very well. I mean, the moon has us just changing personalities all the time. And I'll talk about the moon and all her... I do tarot cards spreads based up our ruler here, the good old moon! It's like, let me do her some justice. And I'll talk about what sign she's in, what phase she's in, where she's going, point of course, just all of those lunar shenanigans. There'll be plenty of them. And just so you're all aware, this is a general reading, not a one-to-one, so take what fits into your story, discard the rest, and everything will be dope, Cancer. Sidebar, I just moved the mic a little bit, just trying new things for the lunar cycle, and I think I like this position. Now, let's jump into it. Because, this is an exciting one. I'm really looking forward to this. I like when... Well, first off, before we jump into this thing, know that your space has been cleansed. The crystals... Look at them. Feeling lovely. Just great energy all around here, Cancer. And depending on when you're watching this, hopefully you are feeling very high energy because happy Sunday. The sun is associated with Sunday. The sun is in Virgo. So this could be a really great time. The sun is our life force. This is our... when you think mind, body, spirit, the sun is the spirit part of that. And I like to think, the moon would be the mind and the ascendant is the body. And when it comes to that spirit, this is looking at things that nourish your spirit, getting into, we're talking Virgo, working those as rituals, taking those inspirations. Maybe you like to draw, so maybe setting aside a couple of minutes a day just to do some freehand, just to kind of unwind after the day. Or maybe you like tinkering with things, so maybe you're out building something, maybe you're building a computer. Oh, that'd be cool. Maybe you're building a computer, maybe you're building a car, maybe you're building a house. I mean, Virgo so efficient. Do you, Cancer? I'm with it. But anything that just kind of lights you up, because and I feel like it doesn't have to be just kind of like frivolous things. This could be something where maybe you want to learn a new skill. Maybe you want to learn how to paint so you can touch up the walls in your house or something along those lines. But I feel when we're thinking about the sun, just doing things that just light you up. This is your God's light. This is deals with your health. So I find even... Excuse me, if you happen to have maybe doctor's appointments even, maybe it's trying to see if you can schedule them during a sun hour. If you have any sort of like presentations, doing those during a sun hour, maybe you do them on a Jupiter day during a sun hour. Or maybe you have something more serious that you need to deliver, maybe do it on a Saturn day during a Saturn hour or something, or during a Saturn hour, during a sun hour, because that might be very serious with the Saturn hour. a lot of Saturn there. So we want to keep it bright with the sun. Get out in the sun. If they're out there. But yeah, would be just some examples of, I feel, working with, and even too, when we have these different days, just what is your relationship with your sun placement? How do you work with that sun? Is your sun in a favorable house? Is it a position in of the first house, the 10th house, or is it like mine? Maybe it's in the toughest house. Maybe it's in the 12th house, or maybe the 6th house or the 8th house. How is your relationship with your sun? What are the aspects with your sun? Does it see a lot of benefits from Jupiter or from Venus, or is it getting beat up by Mars, or is Mars helping it out? What does that look like? Or is Jupiter not able to provide as much for the sun? But so just kind of see how your relationship, I feel, with the planet as well, and just where it's at in the sky. What I've been liking to do, just I'll check off each day in the ephemeris, and I'll read the Sabian symbol for whatever degree the sun is at, and just to get an idea. Fun little fact: when I was reading one day, it was on the Sabian symbol of two guardian angels, and I just so happened to be going somewhere, and I was looking up in the sky, and it was like 10:45 a.m. and the moon's out, and I was just like, well, what's up, Luna? It's funny. Interesting seeing you here. But then I thought, wow, I had two guardians in the sky, the sun and the moon. They're out at the same time. I thought, how interesting. A lot of symbolism that has been going on, a lot of synchronicity. So pay attention to that. That's just a little extra sidebar. Let's get into the lunar shenanigans now, and I'm gonna shuffle a little bit too. Oh, I got a new deck that we're gonna be busting out. Oh, and talk about shining. I'm with it. Thanks to myself. We'll talk about that in a moment. But depending on when you're watching this, the moon is going to be entering into Virgo at about 8:48 p.m. and that's going to be Pacific time. And she'll enter the new moon phase, and I got a chart for that. We'll talk about that in a moment. But with the moon in Virgo in general, this is a very constructive place for the moon to be. The moon can do, sans Capricorn, the moon does very well in earth signs. I feel she's exalted in Taurus, and the thing that I like about her in Virgo is that, one, she's under the rule of Mercury, and Mercury benefits both the moon and the sun. Mercury swings either way. So I find that when you have the mind and in the sign that is over our communication and how we understand it in Virgo, this is how we put things into practical application, how we organize things, how we put things to use. You see where this could be a very potent cycle for setting maybe a certain, and I feel like not even seeing them as routines, because I find that just makes it so, even for myself, I find that makes it so like daunting a little bit. Set them as little rituals, whether this is starting a healthcare ritual, or maybe you're starting a beauty ritual, or maybe you're starting a whatever sort of ritual, a creative ritual, something along those lines. I've just started doing a little ritual where I start each day and I'll go do like little saging of the house. I've been working with my moon placement in a sense from the nakshatra form, and that's been really kind of fascinating to see what that's been coming up for me. But I've been getting in these little rituals and things like my left-handed affirmations. Love those. Those have been very, very beneficial. That was one of the things I set for my intentions, and it's really been kind of paying off here. That's why I've been really kind of pushing that a little heavy. But I talk about things that, we're all going through this thing together, and that's what Virgo's here for. You try different things for yourself, you see how they work for you, and if people want to hear about them, then they're there for you. Virgo can be, of course, being Mercury ruled, very mercantile in that sense. They can essentially turn anything into a business, anything into some sort of idea where they can I find Virgo energy of the earth sign is probably one of the quickest manifestors. They just, when they set the mind, there's something like bam, 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 done. The equation's done. I just have to do this and I got it. And Virgo is that energy of not being perfect, but practice makes perfect. You do something again and again and again, you're going to get better at it. It's just going to happen. You put in that, 10,000 hours, and everything comes together. You're definitely going to be way better than when you started. So what are some things that you want to start up? This is the time when the moon enters into Virgo, especially when we have that new moon in Virgo. You want to look at what chart or what chart you're going to look at. Look at your chart, your birth chart, and see where you have Virgo, where that house starts, and examine that area. How is that? Are things in order? What can I do? How can I get this thing all nice and neat and organized by the time that I get into Libra, so that I have a solid foundation to really think? now that I've taken this time to declutter, Virgo is associated too, even with the intestines and or in the digestive system. Yes, different parts of it, different aspects of it. They share. There's a lot of co-rulership that goes on with that. But even think about the way that the glyph of Virgo is shaped. It has that kind of intertwining complexity similar to the intestines. And so there's this discerning, okay, what minerals and things that am I going to keep? What are things that are helpful for the body? And what are some things that I need to pass off to Scorpio to get rid of? That is just waste. So that again, when you get to Libra, you can think from a clearer place. You got some real fresh ideas that you can work with. So that's just one thing that I think that could be very helpful with this moon in Virgo. And if your moon is in Virgo, rituals working, but I find that especially, I think, if your sun is in Cancer or if your rising sign is in Cancer, if you have your moon in Virgo, if you were to really sync up with the lunar cycle, set these clear intentions, you would probably see results probably quicker than a lot of placements, I think. It's not that we all, of course, create at different paces in different ways, but I find that having that sense of order can keep you it keeps you connected to the body, taking to what it needs, and keep you just working efficiently, keep you being able to deliver your best in whatever that looks like for you. And honor your energy with the moon in Virgo. I feel Virgo can be a machine, but there is a limit. I'm watching a Virgo sun hit a wall. It's aggressive, and it's just like you have to take care of your nervous system. I find with that Mercury energy, Virgo just works really fast. It's zoom, 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 zoom. Not quite as fast as Gemini. It's like zoom, but very close. Their mind, that mental energy is in overdrive. So you have to find some things to balance that out, to allow yourself to slow down a little bit. Be efficient at relaxing. That's, I think, is a very thing with Virgo too. Have something, and if you need to make it where you feel like you're doing something, meal preps, for example, I feel would be a great thing. Chop your vegetables up beforehand. If you don't have time to cook for the week, chop yourself something up so that you're not snacking all the time, or so that you're not something. Just that would be just one example. Or working, and let's say someone who works at a sedentary job, maybe you're taking some of your phone calls on a walk. Something along, like that's some things that I would play around with the moon if you had your moon in Virgo. So that sense of, oh, look at all this rain. Okay. There you go. It's showering you in abundance. Because that's what I feel too. I feel like Virgo moons can really just, make it rain. So I love that. Now, let's go ahead and move into the chart here. I just want to get a little quick view of the sky. So we can just talk about this real quick, some aspects that I wanted to bring to your attention. And then we'll move on to the rest of the stuff. But the moon is going to be cuddling up with the sun at 11 degrees and 4 minutes of Virgo. And this is going to be happening on the 2nd of September. That's going to be a moon day at 6:56 p.m. And again, that's Pacific time. And the new moon is when the sun and the moon are in a conjunction, as you see here. They're on the exact same degree and the exact same sign of one another. Now, the new moon is the seeding process. This is where, I'm sure when you think about the certain aspects of your chart, there are certain ideas you're like automatically like, okay, I came in knowing I'm going to do this, I'm going to do this, and I'm going to do that. But now it's like, all right, so that fills in a couple spots of land. Let's get like a garden. I like a land or a garden analogy for this. It's a pretty simple one. But it's like, all right, I got these other plots of land that I can play with. What do I want to plant in? What would be in season during this time? How is this making sense in my life right now? This is not necessarily just making things up. This is, get imaginative if you of course, if you want to. But it's more so just like, okay, what do I need to do during this time? How can I nourish this portion of my chart? It's like, where is spirit leading me? What sort of insights am I getting? For example, this is happening in my second house. So the house of my money, my livelihood. And so I'm thinking about, okay, I got some courses that I'm going to want to get done over these next 9 months and honestly, over these next 27 months. But for this first period, I'm thinking about that is a for sure locked in one. I'm thinking about too, just where my money is going, and not in just where I'm just saving money, of course, but I'm also thinking about the things that I want to further support in life, the things that I want to see, in the things that I value, that I want to put my energy towards. These are the things I want to see in the future because they're helping me increase my livelihood. Give the money out to help bring more money in and bring more resources in, whether that be in more knowledge, more material things. Ultimately, it would be just a combination of the stuff. So that's some examples of what I'm thinking about. I'm even thinking about too, just like the stuff that I'm eating also, as far as like what I'm putting in my body, the things that I value in terms of that. I'm probably going to get some, I've been thinking about getting some, I'm a little overdue for some dental work, so that might even be something too that I need to get set up. But those would be some sort of, like if I was talking with someone about that was going through some second house things, and of course we would see what else was going on, but those would be some practical things that are some approaches. Maybe you're someone, if you were going through a second house thing, maybe how could you budget more? Maybe you're wanting to look to start up, looking to like an accountant or something along those lines, someone who can help you make your money run. And maybe that might be something that I do. So, since it's raining and water is equivalent to, again, abundance, let me go ahead and get, since buckets of money are going to be falling my way, I'm going to need to get an accountant. But this is a time, really, I feel like manifest really big with this. Because one thing that I wanted to talk about too, two things before I get into this next little conjunction here. The conjunction is when like I said, the planets are fused together. It's a fusion of energies that are happening. There's something internally that's happening that you're wanting to initiate. You're getting these ideas, and it's like, okay, how can I make that? How can I create that? What are the steps that I need to take for that to manifest? And so I find when we're working with the lights here, this is a time to really get quiet, to go within, to really, I like to, very simple, when I do my new moon ones. For the Aries one, considering that's like the first moon of the astrological year, I'll do a poster or do more of a vision board with that one. But for the other ones, what I like to do is just kind of write some stuff down. I'll say like, okay, new moon cycle in Virgo. I'll put the date down, and then I'll put what house it's happening in. Some themes some of my intentions, long and short term over the 27 months, and however I plan on working with those. And then right around the time we get to like the last quarter of this particular lunar month, then I kind of let that lock in. I let that intention be, and then we go to the next one. And then decide, of course, so then we're checking in every now and again just to kind of see what's going on, of course. But that's what the conjunction energy can bring. It could just bring this call to action in a sense. It's an exciting, fertile period right now. So take some time when you get a chance and be with yourself, especially too considering that this is under the dispositorship of this new moon is under, let me circle Mercury here, Leo, who's just freshly out of retrograde. Still kind of picking along here. It takes a little bit for the planets to get moving back to their full speed. I want to say it'll be, when I was looking in the ephemeris, it'll be in about a couple more days, right when Mercury is around 24, 25 degrees, when Mercury will be back right about at its normal pace and really kind of picking up to make that in superior conjunction to the sun. So think of this time definitely as a build-up, and I feel you'll get more revelation again by the time we get to that full moon. But while we're building up to that, let me go back to that second circle that I did, the one with Venus, a little green glyph there, and the little horseshoe. That's the south node. That conjunction's coming up as well. And when we have Venus in Libra, I've been really thinking that it's just your words really have a strong foundation. You be very intentional with what you're putting out there, because the universe is listening. Because Venus is how we attract, how she's magnetic. And we want to attract love. We want to attract beauty and harmony when we're talking about Venus. So with this South Node, look at where you've been maybe kind of calling in sort of the same old things. Maybe we've been staying in a certain, just in a familiar space, and that doesn't have to be necessarily a bad thing. The South Node is not a bad thing. It's more so just like, okay, I'm familiar with this space, but the North Node is like, what's outside of here? What's in, let's, instead of looking behind at what I've already seen, what's coming forward. And so this could be journeying into uncharted territories. Maybe you're thinking about, yeah, look at that. Now the sun's coming out. So now maybe you're thinking about maybe going for that promotion, or maybe you're thinking about asking that bartender that you like out, or or maybe you're, who knows what you're doing. Whatever you're doing, this could be a really great time for just working towards those goals, and far as like, just all these things. But I think that's all that I want to kind of talk about over there. So let me go ahead and switch back over here. Now, oh no, there's one more thing I want to talk about. The Sabian symbol for this, and I really feel like this is important in how, when you set your intention and when you set your mind on something, how it can be when you're in it. It's just like, it can be kind of shocking when you look back to when you set that intention as opposed to when you get here. Because the Sabian symbol for this is phase 162 of Virgo. And it goes, after the wedding, the groom snatches the veil from the bride. And when I first read that, I was just like, oh, like, I just pictured the guy just sort of like, it's just like, what are you doing, bro? But then when you get to the keynote of this, it's like the penetrating and unveiling power of the trained mind. And this gets me to think like how when we think in society growing up, like how the goal was to get married, you're picturing that dream wedding or blah, blah, blah. And when you really set that, think about that. If you've ever done like a vision board, you've cut out your dress, or you cut out this thing, and you set that intention. You hold it in your head. You can hold it in your hand with Virgo, and it's in that ritual. Okay, what is my future self doing in this time? Okay, I want to become this next CEO person. So, okay, I'm gonna need this certain outfits. Okay, let me go buy maybe I'll go get a suit, or I'm gonna go get this dress, or I'm gonna go get this whatever, and I'm gonna get next, I'm gonna invest in my name plaque. And you may not even be there yet, but it's just like you start attracting those things, taking those steps, the universe, it'll start pulling towards you. I have some plans. I got a couple of plans. Sag, when we get the new moon in Sag, I'm really looking forward to that. That's falling in my 5th house, my creative house. I got so many plans for that one. And I got a little plan for the 6th house too, even when we get to the Capricorn new moon. I got some ideas for that as well. But I know what I'm going to already invest in to get that energy moving. And that's where I think it starts. If you're thinking about going to move to a new place, starting to pull up some websites, even if you don't look hard at them, maybe sign up to get some emails as far as like when they get new updates about places in your area, just so that it's on your mind. It's keeping the energy in the ether. And that's what I feel this Sabian symbol really shows, just the power of how powerful our intentions really can be when we are very present and we're being very mindful of where we're going and how things maybe try to, or not even necessarily try, but how certain patterns tend to derail us. And this Virgo energy can allow you to look at that like, okay, there's the problem. When I try to do this thing tends to happen. Okay, this is where I got to do the fix. Okay, and then work on that area in order to get to this thing. So a lot of problem solving, course correction has been the theme that I've been really kind of picking up here, doing with these readings. So definitely take that as it resonates. And if you're wondering how to work more closely with these energies, how they're coming in your charts more personally, I actually now will be starting the next group. I'll be hosting the New Moon in Libra group that'll be starting up. When is that going to be happening? Let me pull that up here. That'll be on October 2nd of 2024, and that's going to be where we have a new moon eclipse in Libra, and that one's going to be at a discount price as well for when we have the eclipses. I like to take a little percentage off there. So if you're curious about that, I'll include a link down in the box to sign up for that, or if you have any questions about that, you can book. There's a link down there to book a free consultation with me to find out about the different services that I provide. So definitely hit me up. I'll be happy to answer any questions for you. Now let's talk about the void of course energy before we get into the reading. Because the void course is going to happen on a Mercury day, the 4th of September, and that'll happen it's going to be a really short one. It's going to be from 9 a.m. to about 9:11 a.m. So we're looking at you got a hot 11 minutes. You've been busy. This Virgo one has been seen it's been mildly busy. She's only forming 4 aspects during this period of time, but it's the last one that she's forming it with, who would that be? It'd probably be Mars. Oh, duh, it is Mars. So at least I know what I'm talking about. But Mars is really at a late degree as you're forming with this. So during this, the void, of course, is when she's kind of reflecting on her time in Virgo. And I almost feel like this is a prelude to how this lunar cycle could be. It might be a busy one and not in just like where the world's just like, I'm not picturing like you just shaking up a snow globe. It's more so that, okay, all the snowflakes have fallen. Now let's get these in piles. Let's make snowmen. That's a weird analogy, but you get what I mean. More so just a time of general busyness, I feel, is kind of come up with this void, of course. So take this 11 minutes, allow yourself a break. Whatever time zone this happens to fall in, just allow yourself some time to breathe and just like, okay, what came up for me during this? Because this seems like this could be like a lot of downloads coming in. A lot of intentions, a lot of maybe you're feeling inspired, maybe you're just whatever this. I feel Virgo can bring just this motivation, can bring you that like, you know what, okay, I'm tired of doing this. Really, again, pay attention to your body over these next couple of days, and to see what produces here. Because the thing too, the last aspect that she forms with the celestial body flavors that void of course period of time. So that for that 11 minutes, she would have formed a square with Mars. And when we're thinking about squares, they're when the planets are 90 degree angles, and the squares are Martian in nature. There is this call to action. And there may be some tension behind, maybe you have to, if you're going to go ask someone out, that might be a little nerve-wracking, because what if they say no? That's just like, no one really likes that rejection, but you'll never know because what if they say yes? That's something to think about. So squares can bring this sense of like, all right, I just got to do this thing, or you know what, maybe it's not the time, maybe I need to warm this up a little bit more. It's a time to just evaluate, how am I going to attack this? And not so aggressive with Mars, but how can I go about this in a way that's going to produce the result that I want, or produce the most desirable result? Maybe they do say no, but I do love our conversations. Maybe we could just be friends. Maybe we can meet for coffee, for like lunch, something along those lines, and just get to just bond with each other like that. Because it's so nice just to make friends nowadays. I feel like it's nice to just know people without any sort of agenda other than to just get to know your story. What's your interest? It's kind of nice to have that just kind of safe space there. So that's what I'm getting with this void of course period there. So especially if you've been racking the mind to being in this period, breathe, take your shoes off, socks off, get on some earth, ground on a good old earth, go for a walk take a walk in the park, take a walk on the beach, take a walk in your yard, whatever that's looking like. So I'm with it. Now, I think that's all I want to tell you. So last little things, these readings that I do, they're not gender specific readings, so apply these energies to people as they make sense for your situations. But look at you starting this cycle off like a diamond. You see, so bright we had to put you, I'm not sure what I'm going to say there. You got the Diamond Ray card here. That's something real clever. And this is a card of Diamond Light Body. And it represents, there's air energy behind this. And this card represents high frequency, oh, I love this, high frequency activations in planetary grid work. And what I really like about this, the planetary grid work, there's these, look at these links that are going across this earth here. I feel this is one showing that when I'm talking about this stuff, I hope that you all know that I'm not saying like you have to do this stuff. I'm doing this stuff here too. We all have our work to do that is working towards these high frequency activations. And I feel that there are a lot of activations that are happening. I just had a conversation with someone like really just going into charts and things not too long. This little young Aquarius, but it was really cool to hear how she thought about astrology, where she was coming from, and then I was talking about where I was coming from with certain things. We were talking about some apps, and she was like, "Oh, but it was cool what was happening here. There was a grid work that was coming together." And I feel when we all do these small things, and that's what I think too, sometimes when we're talking about doing this work, yeah, there's some tough portions of it, but it's not just all suck. Usually it's pretty mundane. I feel like it's generally just a lot of just doing the routine stuff and doing it consistently with Virgo. Again, that practice makes perfect. When you do, I'm noticing a huge improvement with my writing with my left hand, and I can almost feel it when I'm writing this stuff. It's affirming I feel like I'm like tattooing this stuff internally on my body here. It's very fascinating, just like how powerful these little practices can really raise your vibration. When I first was looking at that, I thought that said high frequency activities, and that's what I'm really feeling that too. Doing some things that make you shine like a diamond. There's this, I'm picturing a diamond in your pineal gland. There's this astrologer, Molly McCord. I actually I was getting back trying to find like some different styles of meditation, and she had released a meditation that was like an Aquarian light code downloads one. It's like $11. It's a cool visual. I like where it expanded my imagination in a really cool, helped me get back in touch with that, and in turn led me to somewhere else and opened up a whole bunch of stuff here. But so that's something that resonates with you. Definitely check that out. But I do feel that I'm also getting to this diamond is like a magnifying glass. Right now, I'm picturing this sunlight shining on different areas of the brain, and kind of almost not like in a ray that's like where you think like where you're burning anthills, more so like a flashlight is what I'm picturing. And it's just it's a soft light, and it's just kind of looking at different portions that are needing some attention, that are needing some nourishing. And again, if we all do that, just like this it's like this, it's like the world's, like the world diamond is shining here. You know, let's get some tarot on this to get some details. I chose this Root Worker deck too, the Hoodoo Tarot. I really love this. This is the first tarot deck that I ever pulled. Not this specific deck, but this style of deck. This was like one of the first ones that I pulled from, and it really just talks about just all this really simple things that. Hold on, let's see what's going on here. Ooh. Oh, look at all these majors. All right. So you have, and I love that. So you have the courting card here, which is the Lovers. You have the, word! You have Aunt Caroline here, which is the Wheel of Fortune. Railroad Bill, which is the Chariot. And then you have the Sun. Look at Big Mama. And then you have the Daughter of Baskets here. And she's getting a lot of downloads. She's getting a whole bunch of downloads. Diamond light body downloads. And that air energy that I was talking about with this, pay attention to where your thoughts are at. Virgo can have a tendency to let perfect be the enemy of exceptional. Perfect, I feel, is you're already perfect. You don't have to work towards perfection. It's more so enhancing, how do I make my already perfect self more brilliant? Yes. Look at Big Mama. She's been working on this recipe for probably 50 years. And there are times when that recipe is slapped. And there were times where it's like, oh, Big Mama, you might add a little too much salt. That's fine. It turns out a little different each time, but she learns, you know what, maybe we'll balance this out with like some bland soup. You dip that in the soup, and then look at that, your soup's That's what I feel this Big Mama's bringing wisdom to. She's bringing wisdom with Big Papa, the Wheel of Fortune here, and Caroline. There's something here. I like that there's this photographer that's taking this picture of her here. And I feel like this is you picturing your life in phases. That's interesting. Picturing life in phases and how you've grown, how you've come across in this journey, this railroad bill. The choices that you've made with the courting cards here. When you've courted different, maybe people, but also I'm just even getting just courting different opportunities. Whether do I do this? Do I want to do that? How do I go about this? And now... That's interesting. This daughter basket, she's got a lot weighing on her head here. And I think that with her, she's the water element though. And I feel like with the daughter baskets, that's interesting. I'm looking at her teapot here, and there's something about making time for tea. Doing some things that can calm the mind. Gathering some lighter things, that's interesting. I feel like she's been out gathering flowers, and maybe you've been doing a lot of heavy mental work, and now it's been needing to just something to kind of polish out what you've been doing. Maybe just getting out there and going to maybe gather some flowers, sustainably. I feel, but that's very interesting with her. Let me get some clarifiers with her real quick before we go on with this. Because these high frequency activities, let's see what's going on with this. Thanks, myself. Oh, all this. Okay. So we have the 10 of baskets, the mother of baskets, the mother of knives, the 4 of sticks, and the 5 of knives, clarifying the daughter of baskets here. With both of the mothers, like I was saying, there's that energy of the head and the mind. Mercury and the moon is what I'm kind of getting here. And there's this wish that you may be trying to call into being, this thing that you're trying to create here, trying to just bring to fruition, bring it just. But the 5 of knives, life and death and the power of the tongue here. I just something about not letting others or other influences impede on your celebration. Ground yourself in this celebration. You're raising rank. You're attracting this rank, and you may need to discard or disregard maybe even others here, as far as like maybe their opinions. Maybe they don't understand like an idea that you have, but it's not necessarily that that's a bad idea. I'm feeling with this 10 of baskets. It just may be that you're a visionary. You have this vision, and it can be hard. They only see it failing because they're seeing it from their perspective. But if they were to put themselves in your shoes, and maybe that might be something to invite them to do. But if you were to put themselves in your shoes, maybe they could see where it's like, oh, it's where it's them. So, like, of course they're going to get this thing figured out. So, let's get some more on this. But I feel like that's interesting. I got to think too with the daughter baskets, because the daughters are the knights in this deck. If I remember, yeah, they're the knights in this deck, and the daughter, she's the Knight of Cups, and I feel like when you're leading with your heart, the path is clear with that railroad bill to the sun, because this is a really cool start here. Man. Okay. Thanks to myself. Let's see what else is going on here. Look at all these. You got a lot of people and some majors here. You got the Ace of Coins, the Mother of Coins, the Father of Sticks, and John Horse, the Emperor. So with the Emperor to this Ace of Coins, I got like, take a bite. This is something here about, this is your time to get something activated here, to sow some seeds. The Ace cards are my seeds cards, and this is coming up during a fertile lunar cycle, with us coming up with this eclipse. And I really think with this Virgo, the Mother of Coins is like giving me this energy of setting that intention, and she's resting with ease. This could be if you're feeling a lot of anxiety around a vision, trying to hold something together. She's got like this lavender that she's lying next to her bed. Maybe you're doing maybe putting some lavender drops maybe on your pillowcases, or I'm even just picturing like maybe even like on a little satchel, maybe tuck it underneath your pillow. But there's something here about being aware of where you're creating from. Is there this anxiety that's coming through, or that's happening when you're creating? I'm getting to know that you have all the tools that you need. Oh, interesting. This thing here almost looks like what happens during eclipse. Granted, this one's only going to be a partial eclipse, but still, it's like she's meditating on. It's like she's seeing just things fully here. That's really. I'm going to get a little more for the Mother of Coins. There's something here with her turtle I'm getting like something stored away where it's almost like a time to, okay, wait a minute. It's almost like a time of coming out of hiding, when I think about how turtles tend to go into their shells when go for the defense. But now it's like coming off that's interesting. Okay, maybe I don't need nothing. Maybe it's like coming off the defense and going on acting more kind of offensively here, making some moves. Hey, let's talk about the Father of Sticks, making some hot moves, making some bolder moves, and don't worry about being perfect at it again. When we're talking about with Virgo, just you'll get better the more that you do it. But if you don't do it for fear of perfection, it'll never come to fruition. Or not that it'll never. It'll just take as long as it takes to come to fruition. I feel like it's just something where things are kind of waiting on you to start. And if we're in the place where you've been doing this intention, you've been doing the things, then just trust that I'm almost getting with her. There's really nothing more that needs to be done other than what you're doing. I'm getting almost like if you're worried about if you're doing something wrong, why is it something not coming fast enough? Focusing on other things can help you remove the stress, I feel, that you're putting on your Ace of Pentacles here, and keep that clear, to keep that high frequency activated. Because I'm just getting where it's when the doubts start coming in, then we start pulling back with the Emperor, John Horse, being here. But there's a lot of spiritual support with this. I feel a lot of stuff that if you don't feel that, then this can be Virgo. I find the purity of that dream is maintained through practice. And I find where if you're having trouble with that seeing connections, what are some practices that you can get into? Maybe this is prayer, maybe this is meditation, maybe this is gardening, maybe this is painting, maybe this is cooking, maybe this is canning, maybe you're making malt liquor. I'm not sure what he's got here. I think he's got like rye or something like that. Father thinks he's a little hardcore, but and Caroline here, I gotta take a picture of this moment. Really snap this picture in your head. This is where things start turning. That's interesting. All right, let's get some advice from Mercury. All right. Myself. I love it. So you got the Rosemary card here, and this is a card of, this is the third card here, so that's Empress energy, but this is a card of ancient memory here, and it's associated with the Sun and Mercury, who are, well, that's fine. Who, actually, even better, they're in mutual reception right now. Consider, actually, hold on, let's switch back over. Because the Sun is in the sign that Mercury is domiciled and exalted in, and then Mercury's in the Sun sign, Leo. So this Rosemary card here is giving me this attunement to, how do I want to put this? You see this little, what would you call that? Shape here, geometric shape. And I'm looking at that, and I'm looking at that crystal in her wand, that sort of crystal quartz, almost diamond-like energy that's coming off here. There's something about you seeing something clearly, seeing something. Because Mercury having formed these conjunctions in the signs that, one, it happened in the sign that the Sun is strong in, is strongest in. So Mercury wouldn't have been affected really by the combustion of the Sun, when it gets within that certain degrees. And I'm only bringing this up just because there's this little pocket here. Seems like there's that between this Leo new moon cycle and this Virgo new moon cycle. There's been an opportunity to see things a bit more clear, to tap into some ancient memories, some things that some rituals maybe that you used to do that just have gotten out of practice. I was actually just telling my partner, he's got fifth house placements, but being his Sun's in Virgo, Mercury's Virgo, Mars is there, and is trying to figure out how to put that into. He's great at building stuff, doing all the things, the tech stuff, very smart. But when it just comes to enjoyment and relaxing and doing things like that, it's a challenge. And so I was thinking about what were some ways that I would keep my mind busy. And I was telling them about these like bionicles that I used to play with, and I build them together, and I build them up, I take them apart, and then I create this whole other little figures, and really worked. It really helped me get into my imagination, and it helped me get to a place where I could create more and kind of recharge the mental battery. Rosemary, if you've ever worked with rosemary, in cooking, I love putting rosemary in everything. Rosemary is delicious, and it adds this savoriness to the air. It clears up so much, and that's what I'm getting here. There's this seeing things with this. I love that this came up with this diamond card. There's so much clarity that's coming through here. Understanding how you can refine things, how you can take what may be a situation of coal and turn it into a diamond. But I do feel that it's going to be where you need to allow that time to let those codes kind of sink in there. All right. I think that's all I got for you there. Very interesting start to this lunar cycle here. I hope you enjoyed that. But if you like that, or if anything resonated with you, give it a thumbs up and share this thing if you know someone who you might benefit from this. And just go ahead and subscribe there, real bell. Hit that bell button to get notified when I release videos each day. And then last little bit, if you want to know what's going on with the other celestial bodies in the sky, you can come over to my other channel, Alchemist 8, where I do weekly videos there talking about the cosmos, or the cosmos. Yeah, I talk about the cosmos, the transits in the cosmos, what's going on with there, how we can work with these energies, how you can set intentions for those, what are some things that may be building up for your life during that time. And you'll get to hear more real world examples, because I like talking about this stuff, how this is showing up in my chart, just so you can start thinking about, like, I just don't pull what I'm doing out of nowhere. It's like, all right, this is what's going on in my life. Like, how do I want to work with that? Is providing this opportunity? Like, I think I'm gonna try to do this. And there's sometimes I see some trends, I'm just like, well, this is gonna be a good feeling. But so it's just to give you some ideas just to how to make it more digestible for you. And I also have videos for different planetary placements and different signs. Actually, I'm going to do some more here soon. So, oh, that's for you. And all that housekeeping is down in the description box below. But let me get your get your surprise card or cards here so I can get you out of here. But yeah, really set the tone strong here with this Virgo new moon. The Sun and Mercury together, they happen, I think they do this conjunction dance quite often. So this really gives me just like really big insights. And I think to myself, and I want to say that they'll be forming this conjunction in I would imagine in Virgo season, or excuse me, yeah, while in Virgo season. So pay attention to what comes up during this period of time. Ooh, and absolutely. You got the meditation, what was it? Meditation for creativity card here. You got this blank canvas here. What are you looking to? You got your wand. What are you trying to create? And look at this dog down here. Just a mess, and it's perfect. It's a perfect because at least it's trying to do something. It's expressing what's inside of it, and that's perfect. And the cat. Look at this little Picasso, just doing it, and that's perfect. And that's what I feel. It's like no matter what you're creating, as long as you're in creation, as long as you're in the flow. Because in another deck, in the deck that kind of complements this one, it's the Everyday Witch deck. This painting here is the Ace of Cups in that deck, and the one back here is the Magician. So there's really a lot of taking. There's that we were talking about when we got the Mother of Cups and Mother of Knives. This energy of taking what's in the head and the heart, those coming together, mind, body, soul, spirit, everything's just coming together, and just holding that clear vision, holding that light in your head, storing that in your body. But I feel like it's getting ready to reflect out that inner sunlight. Big Mama's about ready. She's just ready to shine. She got a new recipe and she's ready to shine. So I'm with it. I'm ready to let's bring it. Let's absolutely bring it. So until the next one, stay mindful out there. Keep raising that vibration through the roof. Keep eyes on that moon, when she's out. And I will get you. Because she's out at every single time. Just the wildest of times. On the next one. When am I going to catch you? Oh, Mercury Day.